over there by Jay. Is K your head coach now, or who's head coaching you as far as
No,
for your pros?
no. So Kay is head coach right now.
Okay, okay. I seen my guy Evans down there with y'all in Costa Rica, right?
Yeah, so he's my strength coach.
How you like that?
It's cool. It's definitely like different, but I feel overall, yeah. At the beginning, I was like struggling because also he likes to have us go on runs. He likes to have like lift weights. It was
Swimming and
crazy.
all kinds of stuff.
Swimming was the hardest part for me because I didn't know how to swim. Like I knew how to survive. Like I knew that survival swimming, but wanted me to do laps. That was another story for me. So I
I
did swimming
got
lessons and all that.
I got a couple guys with Evans, and what happens is they look around and make sure the close is clear, and they say, "Man, this motherfucker's crazy, man. He's trying to kill us, man."
But it's worth it though. It's worth it because I definitely noticed like the difference in my body and like the way I feel in the ring. Like I don't get tired. Like my lung capacity is a lot more now, so it's definitely worth it. But he do be crazy.
Hey, and that seems like that's the unanimous decision. Everybody say, but he gets the results, so it seems like to me it's working.
Yeah, crazy always gets the results.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're always big fans and big supporters of women boxing and the local boxing scene. There's no secret. Coach's favorite boxer is probably Clarissa Shields, and we've had her on the show. Why don't you tell us about your experience as far as boxing from a female perspective, some of the challenges that you've had to face, maybe some things that you've learned, or just give our viewers what is an inside look to what it was like for you.
Definitely starting out like as a female boxer, it was harder than the guys because you go into a boxing gym and it's male dominated. Like growing up, I was the only female in the boxing gym. So like coaches wouldn't want to pay attention to me. I would notice that and I wouldn't want to train. So I would get kicked out of gyms because of that.
Oh, wow.
And then so when I would spar the boys they didn't want to get whooped. So they would like try to whoop on me. And it was crazy. And even getting older, like you still go, and I moved around a little bit. And so it was always like the same story. Like coaches didn't really want to work with me. And it was like I always had to constantly prove myself that, hey, like I'm here, that I put in the work ethic and all this. So it was definitely, and even now, because, like we don't get the same attention as guys. Like we always have to prove ourselves. And even like now as a business, like we don't get paid the same, but we put in twice as much work as them. So it's difficult, but we love it. So we just keep on going. And one day we'll get almost equal, but it'll never really be equal. So.
Now that you're in Houston, Houston has a lot of great female boxers as well. Have you been able to connect with them? Have you guys talked about, issues like this, or how's that been for you?
It's good. Like the female boxing community, like most people are really welcoming, and like whenever they're down there, like down here, I'll get some work. So like I'll get some work with Jenny. When Michaela Meyer comes down, I'll work with her. Alicia Baumgartner, she came down and I worked with her, and I worked with Marlon too out here. So it's cool.
What are your thoughts on Marlon? She's been a friend of the show. She's one that's gone before you. You sort of paved the way. She's one of the first. She is the first female boxer to get signed by Golden Boy. So, like her or not, she's gone. She's gone before you. Do you look at her as a sort of a blueprint of, okay, that's how she did it. Maybe, I can follow in those steps, or, I need to think of something totally different to get my name out there.
Yeah, no, growing up, like she was definitely the blueprint, because growing up, like I didn't like boxing like at all. So, and then I had like a deal with my dad that like when I turned 15 that I was going to quit boxing. And And that was before like the women were in the Olympics or anything. So when we saw that Marlon had made the 2020 like Olympics for females, like that's kind of like what piqued our interest, you know, like, hey, like we can do something with this boxing stuff. And then she was getting all these endorsements like from Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and she's a pretty girl like on the ads, and we were like, you know, like she can fight and she looks good for the endorsements, like, so she really was the blueprint like growing up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But now a lot has changed though, right? I mean, back then she didn't have we didn't have social media like we do now. And you see a lot of people making a name for something. You know, Ryan was a social media sensation before he's reached where he's at today. Do you look at social media as a tool as well?
Yeah, social media definitely like can be a tool, but you just have to know how to work it, you know? Like that's how Ryan got so big. Like he has like 1 million followers, and like even people that don't follow boxing, they know about him. And that's so crazy because like when I was in high school, people would ask me all the time, do you know Ryan Garcia? Do you know Ryan Garcia? And I'm like, y'all don't follow a lick of boxing. How do you know about Ryan Garcia? But that's what's so crazy about social media, you know?
I'm a big women's boxing promoter. I promote the sport. I love to watch the women compete. I think, and you touched on it a little bit when you said, you know, you gotta groom this career right at first, because in 3 or 4 fights, boom, they want to throw you in there with a world champion and go time. And it don't matter if the world champion got 40 fights. You know, hey, it's your turn, step up. Yeah. But and so it's very dangerous. Like it's almost like it's the opposite of what most boxers, managers, trainers have to deal with, I guess, outside of Olympic gold medalists or something. But you know, you're damn near pushing your fighter to get the fights, to get the stuff. Whereas the women, it seems to me, you know, overnight, boom, they'll put you on the tube and you'll be in there, and it can't be over your head or whatever. But I think a lot gets said about the women not getting paid the same as guys, right? And clearly that must be true, you know, because the top gals say that, right? The top gals, they like, and with Clarissa going to MMA and all this, like I don't know the catalyst in that, but I'd imagine she's a prize fighter, so it's prizes, right? Money.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like I don't want the girls to lose sight of this. Neither. I'm a fan of yours. Jenny, I love Jenny. Know her personally. Michaela, I've met her. I'm a fan of these gals, and I never want y'all to lose sight on this. You know, professional boxing is also it's not really a sport. Meaning the best in the world, it really doesn't matter half the time if you don't have something that they can sell, right? Because it's very capitalist, the business. So it's like when I hear the girl say, it's like, damn, it's a catch-22, because you only get paid if you draw views, right? Draw used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be butts in the seats, but now with this year, I don't even know the math and how it works with not having people there. But a girl or woman, lady, whatever's the right. I like to use lady. I don't say female. I think female is like for fucking animals and shit. You know, that's a female dog. You know, this is a woman. But
I say female.
Okay, but that's I think I'm just old school like that, right? Somebody call my wife a female, I'll probably punch them in the mouth. But here's the thing. It's like I don't want the girls to lose sight of this. Yeah, you fighting that front about not getting paid the same, but don't lose sight on the power is in the bus in the seats and the ticket sales. So if you pushing it's almost you're damned if you do, because you got to take the loss, but get the seats, the bus and the seats, and the ticket sales and the pay-per-view buys before you can even say, I'm not fighting for that, because I know what the gate is. I know how many people is buying in my, and that social media may be a good barometer for fighters like yourself to say, my social media presence. And plus I'm seeing, hey, let me see the ticket sales, which ones click whatever thing that came through me or whatever the case may be. But it's almost like you got to take the loss up front, right? To prove that you can sell a fight before you can tell these people, because it seems like to me, the promoters, that's what they're going to hold over your head. Yeah, I hear you. You a big star and all that, but we put Willie on the undercard and Willie sold them tickets. They always going to try to say that shit. Whether you Willie or the other person, they always going to try to beat you like that. So you need to try to find a way to mass prove you're the reason why people are showing up. Become the reason why people are showing up. And then the money, then you got an argument to say, and what's the argument? The argument is this. Fuck you, I'm not coming. I'm not fighting. Unless you pay me, I'm not fighting. So it's a catch-22. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want the girls to fight for the fair pay, the fair, and by fair pay I mean if you're the reason why they coming, you should get paid.
And also that's exactly why I say you gotta work twice as harder, because the guys, they don't gotta think about all this. Like for a female, you gotta fight good, you gotta be attractive, you gotta do everything. You gotta be smart, you gotta be like, you gotta hold your own, and you gotta have personality to go with your attractiveness. So it's like all these different components, just to get your money.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about boxing is, with other sports, you got a whole team that represents you, right? With boxing, you're your own brand, right? You're your biggest asset. So as long as you're going out there representing yourself well, boxing, doing stuff for the community, adding value, and campaigning and doing the right marketing, that money will start to follow.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I realized? That I agree with Joe, with what Joe just said. Maybe Issa need to do that when she gets her title. Hey, you know what's something concrete that I think you stuck on in this female male catalyst? The work twice as hard. When I figured that out, I was a young dude, right? And I was like, man, you want the pretty girls. So you go after the pretty girls, and it's like, I got to figure out the password, right? And once I figure out the password, I'm good. And I had a girl tell me one time when I was a young dude, she said, you trying to find a girl, girls, the dudes find them. So it's almost like the girl got to have a defense. So she's working twice as hard to fend your ass off. That's what's making you have to find the password, the open sesame, so she'll talk to you. So in the boxing shit, you're right. You gotta go twice as hard, because ain't nobody just jumping over the barrel to let you in and say you're worth it. In fact, I publicly defend a lot of women boxers constantly when I hear some dumbass boy, first of all, that don't know shit about boxing. That's number one, and he's just a fan. But boy, this motherfucker believes everything he says, and he'll say something like, "This girl can't fight," or that. Why would I watch her? And meanwhile, she's one of the most exciting fights. They battling, they banging out. So I'm constantly defending that. So I think that work twice as hard shit, man, that sucks. That sucks. That's gotta suck ass, man. And
but
I
it's
know
worth
nothing
it
about being a woman, right? So I can see it on the outside going, shit, what do I do now? You gotta give in. You gotta give in and make yourself valuable. That's how you gotta do it. Once you become valuable, you can demand. I believe anybody should listen, man. When I look at that MMA and shit, and they make stars out of them gals, right? That means people will pay to see it. Women, they'll pay to see women. So don't tell me in a sport or in a business in our world that's a couple of thousand years old that you can't sell a woman. The key is that she can fight. If she's pretty and all that stuff, I'm sure that adds to it, because now you can put her on the commercials and stuff or whatever. But it's a double-edged sword. And if a woman could fight, I think it'll bring the highs to a straight up.
Yeah.
I imagine women having to put their